All right, friends, welcome to Saturday's client interview with my main man, Steve Donckers. Steve, say what up to the camera.
What's going on, everybody? Got some great news for you today.
Yeah, that's right. Well, hey, listen, Steve is actually it's so good. Uh, Steve and I actually go back to high school. We actually play football together. Um, our circles run deep of friends, and so um, Steve and I have been working together over those last 7 weeks. And I don't want to steal any thunder because Steve's got a powerful kind of story. But Steve, before we get into your story, I want you to really talk about like who you are and like where you're at in life. Like just give us kind of a rundown, like what do you do for work and what life looks like for you now.
So I work for a company called Lease Plan. We're a fleet management company. I'm a director of operations there. Very busy work life. And then I also have a little one at home. I've got a 16-month at home. Actually, just turned 16 months the other day. Little baby Emerson. She's beautiful.
That's awesome.
So between work and my home life, it's always busy. It's burn the camel at both ends of the stick. Up early, up late, and really do burn the candle at both ends of the stick with between work and family and everything else. And family is really what's important. And we'll
Yeah.
probably dive into that, but I'll tell you what, that's one of the main reasons why I'm doing this.
Yeah. Well, so Steve, so in the midst of all that chaos and busyness, you reached out to me. Tell me a little bit more about like why'd you reach out to me and what was the goal for you, really?
So, I got to a point in my life where, as I'm getting older, I'll be 39 this year, and as I'm getting older, it's harder and harder to keep yourself in decent physical health. And I really went down a bad path with my health. And right now, or 6 weeks ago, I may have still been okay, but if I kept on going down the road I wasn't going to be. Of very big health concerns between weight and among other things too. Um, and I really didn't make a change. And I've seen other testimonials from some of your clients and thought, you know what, I need to try something different. So that's when I reached out to Luke.
Yeah. That was I remember, and it was a great conversation because you had to reach out to Scott and
Yep.
get the behind the scenes, and we moved forward. And I think I want to highlight like the first meeting. I remember. Do you remember when I left with your first action steps, and you were like, "Wait, this is it?" I'm like, "That's it, bro. Like that's it." And you were trying to make it more complex because
Yep.
you're like, "What do you mean? This doesn't make any sense. This should be harder than this." So tell us a little bit more about that and your expectation walking into this from your previous experience.
So I will tell you, especially that first week, it was super simple. I mean, I guess the best way is stupid simple. It really is, and I'm still doing it probably to today, but I probably overcomplicate things and try to want to do more, but
Yep.
that's one thing that's really nice about Luke's program is he tries to make this sustainable. And I've had my struggles in the past with weight my whole life. I've been a big guy my whole life, and I could tell you, I've done the crash dieting, I've done the over exercising. I mean, I here probably 9, 10 years ago, I just about killed myself trying to get back into shape, and I lost a ton of weight and did a great job losing a ton of weight. But I was working out 2 hours a day, 6 days a week,
Mm,
um, and basically starving myself.
mm,
And I did it, but then I fell back in my old patterns and put all that weight back on, and then tried it again and got down some, and then put all the weight back on and then some.
mm.
So my biggest struggles were I didn't know how to do nutrition. I know how to go to the gym and I know how to work out,
Yep.
but I know how to work out like I did when I was 18 years old, not 39. So,
And that's a big difference, man. That's a
yes.
big difference, right? So I'm with you, bro. Like, back when I remember things had drastically changed for me too, because I still had that athlete mindset. And I know, Steve, how funny is it that you're itching to get back in the weights, right? you're itching to go and
Yeah.
smash some weights and lift heavy. And what's been happening? Well, how's that come back to you for you?
Well, yes, I've been probably driving you nuts about wanting to go actually lift some heavy weights again, because the endorphins that I get from it are just second to none.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things that we keep on talking about is inflammation, and not wanting to set myself backwards when I've made some great strides so far. So that's really what's nice about your program is you're not trying to kill me to try to get me to lose the weight.
No.
You're trying to let my body do it more naturally, opposed to forcing it to, I guess you could say.
Yeah, that's
And
great.
one of the big things that I really got to say, and this is one of the things that I really needed to learn, and I feel like I've learned some of it along the way, and I still have a ton to learn, but how important gut health is to everything, and how that really triggers everything, everything, your energy, your mood, even. I mean, everything. And really working with you through that has opened up my eyes to a lot of different things than just going and pounding some weights.
Yeah, it's so powerful, man. I I I love your questions, man. I remember you're like, wait, what do you mean? So I just get my gut back on track, and then I don't have to, and I can still eat what I want? That doesn't make any sense. Shouldn't I count? Should I be counting this? Should I?
Yes.
What's the measure? I remember I'm like, hey, Steve, just follow the instructions. You're like, you sure? I'm like, just follow it. Yeah, man. And that's what's been so great about that. And I love where you went to it, because you talked about improving your gut. And I mean, that's a huge story. I mean, the hard part about it is you've been down this path before, but your mindset, I mean, and most people listening to this right now are thinking to themselves too, like, yeah, I've done that too. I've lost weight, right? If we were to add up all the weight that most people have lost in their lifetime, right, it'd probably be like 2 bodies worth of weight, right? It's just crazy to think back and forth. So the insanity would be going back to the same plan, trying to get back to that place.
Yes.
And we all know what restricting diet feels like. It's miserable. I accidentally didn't eat enough carbs the other day, and I was like a hangry beast. I was like, did you eat enough carbs? I was like, maybe I need to go eat some more. But anyways, so for you to make this transition into something that's simple, and I love the word you used. You said sustainable. Can you tell us a little bit more about, because you start off by saying you're a busy dude, bro. I mean, you're up. I think you said 4 o'clock. You got a little baby. You're married. Talk to us about how that's really impacted your life, because you don't have a lot of time on your hands.
Yeah. And I got to tell you, my wife has been an absolute saint. She really has. She makes, I would say, probably 90 to 95% of all my meals. She's really been a key part in this, and she's been joining me on this journey as well. Not that she needed to lose any weight, because she looks great and she's beautiful, but she's even lost, I think she's down about 18 pounds now, just by following the similar diet to what I'm doing.
That's so awesome.
And losing the inches and everything else, it's just unbelievable. I'm actually eating more now than I was before. I'm just eating the right foods now. And as time is going on, the meal prepping, or whatever you want to call it, it's gotten easier, really, because we figured out what works for us. And now that we're actually a little bit more into the groove, it's easy to figure out what we need to do to make sure that we're hitting our nutritional goals every day, between proteins, fats, carbs, making sure we're getting our good veggies in. A lot of great stuff. And what's nice about Luke's program is he sort of takes you along. He's not going to throw you right into it right away. And meaning, like, he's not going to say, okay, this is what you have to eat right now. He's going to let you sort of figure it out and figure out your own path. And he's going to guide you in the right direction. And what works for me isn't going to exactly work for you. And he's going to make sure that he keeps you on the right track and hold you accountable. And that's really what helps. I mean,
yeah,
does a great job of that.
Well, Steve, I appreciate it. One of the things I love, I know we've been really working on, is just giving you permission to just enjoy food again, right?
Yeah.
There's so many people who can relate to that story, where it's like they have this love-hate relationship where they stuff their mouth full of all the food that they left, and they overeat because they've been restricting themselves. But then they're looking at the food like, oh, I'm bad because they ate the food. And so many people have experienced that. And so I know one of the things that we've been working on is just like, Steve, I want you to enjoy yourself. Can you told the story about the other day because now we're starting to incorporate uh, teaching Steve what a proper cheat meal will look like and how we can do it effectively. But Steve, tell us, last week you had a cheat meal and you did it right. What happened?
I'm actually so last Saturday I did a cheat meal and I actually lost more weight this week than I did last week. Um, the last couple days, I think I've dropped like a pound a day for the last like 2 or 3 days in a row.
Oh, wow.
So I've really been hitting some great milestones these last few days, and that was with even having that cheat meal this last week. So um, just unbelievable with what food has really done to help my body. My energy level, I think I've said this before. It's normally I get home from a long day of work, I'm drained. I am. I'm not going to lie. Some days are very stressful. It's being in leadership. You got a lot of people pulling you in a lot of different directions every day, and getting home and want to spend time with the kid and spend time with the wife and everything else. You sort of hit that wall, and I was hitting that wall even before I was getting home prior. I think we were on a call, I don't know, a week or two ago, and I'm sitting there itching because I want to go lift, and it was like 8 o'clock at night. Now, not the best time to do it, but I still had that energy saved. So the amount of energy that I've really gained over these last 6 weeks has just been crazy.
Without stimulants.
Yes, and that's the thing. I don't drink coffee. I've never drank coffee, so I was never really a coffee drinker. But I don't drink any caffeine at all. I mean, I was drinking pop sometimes previously, but obviously I haven't had pop in 6-7 weeks now. But so no caffeine, not anything I'm taking is no stimulants. I mean, truly a difference in what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, man. And this is what you're talking about: lifestyle, habits, behaviors. I mean, Steve, can you see yourself sustaining what you're doing for the rest of your life?
Yes.
That's so big, because so many people are like, I can do this for 90 days, right? I can do this for 3 weeks, but I can't do this for the rest of my life. And if you're on a program like that, where you're thinking to yourself, there's no way I'm going to be able to sustain this, you need to get off that program because, again, Steve's here to tell you, he's been there plenty of times. Yes. It doesn't work. But hey, man, listen, I think you've done such a great job of talking about your job stress, and then also merging into, getting the gut back on track. You're down 32 pounds so far, right?
As of this morning, I was down 32 pounds, 7 inches. 7 inches off my waist, 4 inches off the hips. Wow. Need new pants. Actually, last night I went to go buy some new pants.
Yes.
They didn't have what I was looking for, so I didn't buy any. But I need a new belt. I've already put 2 new holes in my belt because my belt's too big. So it's just a huge difference. Literally last night, we had a friend's birthday and hung out with them last night. But I get home and I took my belt off and literally my pants just fell.
Hey, baby, it's easy. That's so good. Well, listen, man. Tell me, there's some people who might have who've been on the fence about stepping up and actually taking control of their health, and they're probably watching this video right now. So, what would you say to someone who's on the fence about stepping in and taking control of their health? What would you tell them?
I was on the fence, as you know. And sorry, guys, my baby is screaming in the background. If you can hear her.
You're good. More real, the better.
But I was on the fence. I really was, and then I sat down, talked with my wife, and there's nothing more important than your health. Nothing more important than your health. Money doesn't matter. If you're not here to actually use that money, what does money mean?
Yep.
Health is more important than anything else. So if you could get yourself back on track, do it now. I wish I would have started this sooner. That's the only regret that I have right now is I wish I would have started sooner.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I love to highlight as you were talking about, changing lifestyles, and you talked about how it's affected your wife's lifestyle already. You said something on our call the other day I thought was powerful. And I said, hey, what were some wins this week? You're like, Luke, you know what? I'm going for more walks with my wife, just outside. And I've got more energy to do that stuff. I'm actually more active. Right. And you talked about the other day, you got home, on Saturday, you got more done on Saturday than you would, in like a week in the past, right? Your energy is starting to build. You talked about the energy, but it's from my experience of watching you, Steve. This is so great, and that's why I wanted to have you on here. Is because you've practiced faith, you've applied the system, you've stuck to it. You're starting to see the results, but not just the physical changes, you're actually starting to see it show up in your lifestyle where it's something that you do. It's not something that your trainer is telling you to do, right? That's a big difference for you, would you say?
Absolutely. And it's been nice getting out to take the dogs for a walk. I live in Chicagoland area, and it's been cold. So trust me, I'm sure everybody that's watching this, that's in this area understands the pain that we went through over these last few months, because it was bad between the snow and the cold. Weather's starting to break, and it's been nice to get out there and walk some more with her. And even last night we went out and took a walk with the baby after work, and couldn't believe it. She actually made it a quarter of a mile for a 16-month-old. That's pretty good.
Yes.
But it's been great to have that additional quality time with the family, outside of just staring at a TV or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, so that's so big. Well, Steve, brother, I appreciate you taking your Saturday morning and just hopping on here and encouraging people. First of all, brother, I celebrate you. Your journey has been so incredible so far, and this is just the start. You're only 7 weeks into this, baby. Man, we're gonna see some big numbers at the end of 90 days. So, hey, for those of you who've been watching and you're like, hey, my story is just like Steve's. What do I do? The next step, if you want some help, if you really want to take that next step, the next step would be schedule a consultation with me. It's a strategy call where we're going to go over your life. We're going to talk about where you're at, and we're going to come up with a plan specifically for you. It's really simple. In my bio, on my profile, there's a link to it. You can click into that and you can self-schedule yourself, and then we'll get started on your fitness journey. Again, Steve, appreciate you being here with us, brother. Have a great rest of the Saturday. Friends, have a great weekend. We'll see you.
Thanks.